Hey, I'm Jay Kumar, the BassBlaster, and this is your Seafoam Top 5 of the Week in Bass Fishing. Number 1.
Hello, boys! I'm back!
Guess who won the second Major League Fishing Bass Pro Tour event of the season? Well, I'll give you a hint. It's the guy who has the most Bass Pro Tour wins in history. Yep, it's Jacob Wins or Top 10's only Wheeler. This was win number 7 for him, and it was at Santee, South Carolina. Less than a year after he won the Bass Pro Tour event at Lake Guntersville, Alabama. He won both tournaments fishing the new Rapala Crush City Freeloader soft plastic minnow type bait with a pintail on it, on a Damiki rig of course, using forward-facing sonar. Now, even though he was using forward-facing sonar at Santee Cooper, he was fishing shallower, and most of the time was using his forward-facing sonar just to pinpoint his cast relative to the targets. In other words, it wasn't so much force-feeding the fish, if you will. He also mixed in a Rapala Maverick jerkbait, another new bait, and a jig. Now, after his win, he just made a real short speech at the weigh-in.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
Heck yeah, I can dig it, Jacob. Number 2. Let's do a little baits breakdown from that Santee Cooper Bass Pro Tour event. Jacob was fishing in 10 feet or less, hard spots or rocks, and also wood, stumps, or brush. Some spots had one or the other, some spots had both. It was better if they had both, he said. As I said, his main weapon was that Rapala Crush City Freeloader, which happens to be the exact same bait his bud Dustin Connell used to win the first Bass Pro Tour event of the season at Toledo Bend, Texas. But while at Toledo Bend, the fish were in a wintertime / early pre-spawn pattern, it was a totally different deal at Santee Cooper. The fish were shallower, and the other 5 guys in the top 6 finishers, notably Dean Rojas, who gave Jacob a run for his money right up until the last few minutes of the event, they all fished shallow cover. And 5 out of the 6 of them, not including Jacob, fished a Z-Man Evergreen JackHammer bladed jig, along with some other power fishing baits. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the JackHammer, it is the ultra refined version of the chatterbait, and the top tour pros say it is the best bladed jig by far. They all fish it. All the guys were tearing up the water with it, and the rest of the guys, 7th through 10th, primarily power fished as well. So as the water warms up and the fish move up this season, will we see more power fishing baits?
You underestimate the power of the dark side.
No, we don't, Darth Anakin. Number 3. Now, last weekend, the Bassmaster Elite Series kicked off their season at Toledo Bend, Texas, basically right after the Major League Fishing Bass Pro Tour left there. Because of that, everyone knew this tournament also would be basically a Damiki rig forward-facing sonar tournament, and it was.
Not this again.
Basically, 100% of the guys did it. All of the top 10 and everybody else. And the guy who came out on top was Japan's Kiyoya Fujita. This was his second blue trophy in just 6 months, and both of his wins came in electronics-dominated events. The other one was on Lake Champlain on the New York-Vermont border and was mostly a smallmouth deal. Now, at that Champlain event, I think Kiyoya had 3 forward-facing sonar units or transducers and 5 screens. At Toledo Bend, a new season, he had 5 forward-facing sonar transducers and 6 screens, including that giant 22-inch NBT battleship. Did it matter? Is all that stuff useful in non-winter pattern or non-smallmouth tournaments? Will it hold up over the whole season or running in rough water? Will it start to spook fish? We'll find out. In the meantime, we need a new name for this rig and this one and this one and that one. All of them, man. The Damiki rig, mope rig, hover rig, jig head minnow. Can we come up with one good one? One unforgettable name for it?
One name to rule them all.
Here's a few ideas. Pickle Tickle,
Ew.
Winter Dinner,
Yum.
Bing Bang Bong. Bing Bang a Gong and get a fish on, man. Number 4. I gotta shout out this one bait from Fish Lab called the Nature Series Flutter Nymph. It came out last year, and right away when I saw it at iCast, I knew it was something cool and different. Now basically, as you can see, it's a soft plastic dragonfly nymph with these little swim bait appendages on it. That gives it a crazy cool action. Now this winter, I come to find out that Bill Siementel, the West Coast bait mad scientist who designed this bait and many others, him and his tourney partner have been winning tournaments, winter tournaments, on this little nymph. They're just putting it on a jig head and swimming it, but they're using the 2.5-inch version. Right now the bait is only available in 3.5 and 4.25. And the color that's been killing it for him is pink. I love baits that are easy to fish and you can work them if you want and attract fish to them with their action. That 2.5-inch side should be out later this year in pink and other colors. Can't wait to get them. Number 5. All right, here's another thinking deal for you, and it is this. Have we made the wrong assumptions about bass this whole time? Meaning for the last 55 years of modern bass fishing history.
Well, they miscalculated. They misjudged. They got it wrong.
Well, I guess how would we know? I mean, we don't know what we don't know. And either way, we still catch them, right? All right, now think of it this way. What if you were beamed down here from another planet, or maybe you woke up from a decades-long coma, and all of a sudden you got ate up by bass fishing. Then instead of an older gentleman taking you out and teaching you all he knows,
You cut the anchor, you putz.
while you read every issue of Bassmaster magazine and watch all the videos, what if instead all you did was launch your boat and stare at your forward-facing sonar screen, meaning you got your education right from the bass themselves? If you did that, if you really did that and that's all you did, what would you find out? Well, we're starting to find that out because we have some young men now hitting the national scene and getting some exposure who have learned to fish that way, give or take, and they're doing great. One of these young guys is Drew Gill, a rookie on the Major League Fishing Bass Pro Tour, and check out what he said recently. The information forward-facing sonar gathers is facts, not theories. It's a deadly accurate depiction of what bass are actually doing, where they are in the water column, how active they are, how they're relating to cover and other species of fish, which direction they're moving. All facts, not guesses. It removes subjectivity from the sport faster than any other product we've ever seen. And here's the key part, at least for me. Much of what people thought they knew about bass behavior is actually incorrect. Coming to terms with that can be difficult. Wow, big statement and a true statement, as a lot of older guys who have spent time with forward-facing sonar have already found out. Like where the fish really are versus where we think they are. For example, cover and structure are turning out to be more like rest stops along a highway where fish go in to get a burger or whatever, and not really a residence where they spend all their time. And now we're learning more things from Drew and other good forward-facing sonar fishermen that could really turn bass fishing on its head. Like, for example, what if you found out that bass really are not ambush predators like we've been taught for decades, but instead are prey chasers. Prey chasers that only sometimes like to be around cover. It's kind of like a cheetah hiding and waiting for a gazelle. It's not gonna wait there all day for the gazelle to walk past the tall grass where it's hiding. The cheetah's just gonna wait there till that moment when it decides to go. Would that change where you look for bass and how you fish for them? Maybe. The great thing about bass fishing is you can catch them fishing from a $100,000 boat with every piece of electronics and wing ding on it. Or you can launch yourself in a no-frills canoe with one rod and your favorite bait on it. Either way, you're gonna catch them. It's all good, man, but this new stuff is for sure interesting.
Just very interesting.
That's all I got for you this week. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Seafoam. Go to BassBlaster.com or .rocks to sign up for the juice-filled BassBlaster email. Get it, man! See you next week. God bless you.